Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Yes, that's right. It's time for Sarcastic Distractions, the interesting podcast for interesting people. Featuring, as always, the Gentleman's Society of Podcasting. Myself, Harvey. My heterosexual life mate, David.
Hello.
The ever-loving, ever-confused AJ.
More than meets the eye.
Indeed.
I'm playing with the Transformer.
Sure are. And not the electrical kind either.
No.
No.
Okay, I understand. What are we talking about today?
Well, in rare fashion, we're talking about what you're talking about. We're actually talking about toys. My favorite collecting pastime, something I've been doing for way too long. And just talk about love of toys and collecting and all that fun stuff.
I should have clarified on this earlier.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was sexual toys we were going to talk about.
Well, that's for the after hours podcast.
Oh, gotcha. That's the later
That's
episode.
Sarcastic Distractions After Dark.
That's the after party potty. That's what that is.
I
The
don't
after party potty. That's what that is.
After dark.
But no, until
the company's
then,
going to join us on that one, right?
That's right. Absolutely. But no, until that one, we're just going to talk about, as you kindly referred early, children's toys.
They are children's toys.
For adult children. And yeah, so I brought some of my fun little pieces so we can all fuck around and have some fun. So I guess I'll start because I've been collecting toys a long time. If you've not listened to this podcast before, you clearly wouldn't know. But I've been obsessed with Transformers since like the age of 6. I think is how long.
Transformers makes sense because I do remember Transformers being one of my favorite toys when I was younger. I have to admit this.
Right.
It was one of the ones I always loved. Anytime I got a Transformer, like instant happiness.
Yeah, instant. Yeah. And I actually figured out psychologically why that is. Believe it or not, but we could talk about that. Not right now.
I never got any of the like really good Transformers.
Like what?
There's nothing wrong with GoBots.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with GoBots.
I don't think I had any GoBots. I had Ultra Magnus.
Oh yeah, he was great. Actually, no, he wasn't.
The original,
the image of him was great, but I'm sure he wasn't. Yeah.
And then I had an Optimus Prime that like I think it was a Power Master.
Oh, it wasn't
a Headmaster.
Oh yeah, it was a Power Master.
It was a Power Master, and then he like folded up into a little cube, and then he slid him into the back of his trailer, and he was like big. But it was kind of lame because
his feet didn't move, but his base was pretty sweet.
Do anything?
Yeah. So Power Master Prime, it was great.
Yeah,
my favorite toys are the triple ones.
Yeah, the triple changes. Shoot, I should have brought.
Never had any of those.
Yeah, I had the spaceship guy.
Yeah, Astrotrain.
Yeah, I guess other than Optimus and things, like I'll have no names for these characters at all. There was the train guy. There was the first one where they all came together into
Devastator.
That was all the construction-y guys.
Construction.
Yeah, yep. I never had that whole one. I think I had 2 pieces.
Yeah.
I think I had like the body and a leg or something.
For sure. Yeah.
Anybody I ever knew only had like 2 or 3 pieces. Mm-hmm. We lived in small towns though, so there wasn't like you didn't have big toy stores or there was no Toys R Us's or.
Even then, though, I think it would have been rare to see someone with all 6 combiner set, unless they sold the actual set, which I don't think they were doing.
Or just happened to get it all. Yeah.
Or just happened.
I think, well, probably not in North America, but I have seen like who's the company? Takara?
Takara Tomy? Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them sell. They have sets in Japan of Devastator.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stuff like that.
I picked up Devastator. I picked up the Combiner Wars version, and that was I didn't pick it up. That was a gift from my wonderful wife who supports this ridiculous habit sometimes.
Mine too.
As long as you keep it tidy.
Exactly. She doesn't break her feet on the toys, and they don't wild out everywhere. But it was a set of all 6, and he stands like 2 feet tall.
Oh wow! I never heard anything like that.
Fucking magnificent, just magnificent.
Since I haven't seen that one, I've been to your house, and I've seen your Ark.
Yeah, I have the Ark.
I've also seen the toy that you have.
One.
The Ark isn't what we call your P. Yeah.
No. Oh. That's called Teletran 1.
Oh, okay.
Teletran 1.
So in relation to the size of the Ark. What's Devastator? Like, is the Ark bigger?
No, the Ark's about a foot. I would say Devastator. So Devastator's not quite 2 feet tall. He's probably, I don't know, a foot and a bit. So they'll match up somewhat.
What's that in metric?
I don't know.
42
He's big,
centimeters.
42 centimeters.
I don't know.
So they'll be slightly similar in height. I also have in the big figure department, I have a Metroplex, which was the transforming base of
Oh wow,
Transformers.
like an OG?
No.
Oh.
I have one of the newer ones from like a decade ago.
Nice.
But I mean, in comparison to the OG, it's got like, I don't know, foot and a half on it. Like the size difference is not comparable. Yeah.
Wow.
They've scaled these things to ridiculous proportions.
They've also made them more difficult
they have
to transform for people who obviously can't see.
You're making it.
I am trying to transform a transformer right now. This would be Galvatron.
Yeah, that would be that was the Kingdom version of Galvatron.
Voiced originally by Mr. Leonard Nimoy.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the show, by the way, which is why I think more
in the movie film.
such a bitch.
Oh yeah, in the movie.
In the movie film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because he wasn't a bitch in that in the movie.
No, God no, he's amazing.
Well, he
in
got
the movie.
devastated a bit, but then he came back all, I'm here to kick ass, chew bubblegum, you fucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's only in the show that I think he's a bitch.
Yeah.
Galvatron.
But they've made these things to be like highly intellectual puzzles.
Yeah. And that comes back to so I've often wondered why I've not kicked the habit of Transformers. It's been with me for so long. And I started to look into it. There are puzzle boxes.
They are.
That's ultimately what they are.
Yeah, they're basically a puzzle.
Yeah. And the idea, I think,
a puzzle you can put your own sort of style to a certain extent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That stimulates the brain in a way that
I'll give you on that front. Okay.
So I started doing that thing. Like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's why,
I can't even find this. I can't even find this man's head.
Well, yeah, it's tucked away there.
Oh, I found his arms.
Well, there you go. That's good. I thought that was interesting because it's like, I mean, I can separate myself enough to not be a part of the media, but yet I continue to want to purchase the toys. It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And it's just that need to do puzzles and need to.
I just do puzzles.
Yeah, the problem.
Or models. I guess that's somewhat similar.
Very similar.
Yeah,
Your Gundam model obsession at that time was very much similar.
Yeah. It was one of those silly things where I wanted to do one for so long, and I got to do the two. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it, but I'm good. It was.
I feel
fun.
the same about those. I remember I did 2 or 3 a while back, and I was grateful to do them. I thought I did a really decent job. I liked them, but I was, I'm good.
It's just, and again, that's in part of me is I'm like my wife always calls them my phases, my personal activity phases.
For sure,
I have those.
Yeah, where for 3 months, all I want to do is this thing.
Yeah,
and then 3 months later, I want to do some other thing. Eventually, I cycle through,
and you come back. To
I come back. Yeah. She always says to me, "We got to throw this out." I'm like, "No, I'm going to use it again. You haven't used it in like a year." Yeah. When it hits 5 years, if I haven't used it, then I'll throw it away.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Long-term use.
Well, because in models, I'm especially bad for that. Not quite the same, certainly, as the toys, but it's one of those things where, like, even now, I was going on a model kick. I think I did 1 complete, started my second. Yeah, I got bored. So put everything away tidily.
Tiddly.
Let's go tiddly.
Tiddly wings. Tiddly it is.
Yeah, and hey, I might use it again in the maybe next winter.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I've got a model of the '89 Batmobile.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, nice.
It's sitting in pieces in my closet.
Yeah,
because I haven't. It was like, oh yeah, right. I got to get paint
and the glue
and get all meticulous. And,
yeah.
And I don't feel like doing that.
I'll do it later. It'll be fine.
Speaking of models, shout out to my friend Anthony Cook out there. I've got a model of a stormtrooper. So that's what he does. Is he will get these? I think they're Bandai Namco models, and then he'll go and configure them in different. Because stormtroopers there's so many different kinds. He's very skilled, very artistic.
Nice.
So he ended up giving me one, and I want to go and do it, but I'm intimidated.
I attempted the Warhammer.
Yeah.
I did the 5. I'm good. I'm done. It's way outside of my wheelhouse.
It's a lot. Well, shout out to friends like our friends like Mike and Jason. Like when you see the work they do, it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like why?
There's a guy I work with that he does just like he showed me a few of what he had done.
Yeah.
And it was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many years did that take? He goes, well, no, I was on it for a good week.
Oh, fuck off.
What?
Like, come on now.
Yeah, I've never been into the Gundam models or anything like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard that they can be quite intricate.
Yes.
Quite. You're kind of almost building it from the inside out.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the skill level.
Yeah, the one I think was just your mid one. It was fun because you had the inner, which was all the core pieces, connections, and then you had the outer that you place on top and all the stickers. Like I have to admit, it was a fun model to do. What I liked about those ones, at least, it was very just. Yeah, I don't call it simple, but it was clear.
Yeah,
and what you had to do, and which is funny because it's not in English or anything, the instructions, but the images, everything that they demonstrate was very clear.
Yeah.
Plus, you can go online and get the English you really want.
Ones. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I felt the same. Very clear instructions and a fun time just to.
It was good. Right? I enjoyed it.
I almost brought Lego, but I felt that we would not end the show if I brought Lego.
Lego, I have to admit. So for me, it's funny because I see my kids with Lego, and it's exactly what I did as a kid. I'd get a Lego set of something, and back then, of course, it was cars and houses. Like, we didn't have anything much else.
No.
And I would build it. And then 2 weeks later, I would break it, and it would go into the Lego bucket.
Yeah.
And then every so often, I have to admit, and it was partially because of my stepmom at the time, she would go and she'd start to actually build houses. Because she would be, a little, I don't want to say bored. I probably shouldn't say bored, but, at home, just had kids. Yeah. She was bored. Fuck it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so she would build things out of Lego. And I actually got re-interested. I'm like, you can actually just build that with the Lego? And she's like, yeah, you just do artsy stuff with Lego. And I used to try and build towers and shit. It was great.
That's fun. Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
Change your mind about Lego,
well, it made me realize I didn't have to recreate what was in the instructions. I could actually just create what I wanted.
Yeah.
See, I enjoyed getting Lego and like creating whatever it was supposed to be, and then just like, I guess that would be my form of model making.
Yeah,
Lego.
Yeah, because I like to do the
then
thing
keep it,
and then just keep it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I always broke them in the proper, not broke the Lego, but ripped them apart, and then I would
just
try
to break Lego. That's hard.
It's possible, but it is hard. The important thing, if you really want to demonstrate or have your Lego construction broken, leave Lego on your stairs and for your father to step on it early in the morning. Some of the best moments of my father. Yes, Dad.
To be fair, he has a point, man. That shit hurts.
Oh, well, and it was one of those fun things of not only once, not twice. I think it was a few times. And again, it would always just be me carrying it somewhere. Or I'd run upstairs to show him, look, Dad, look what I built. Run downstairs, something falls off. And anyway, it was always just Whew. Good times. Children.
Yeah.
Always check your Lego.
Always check your Lego. You know what? I agree with you. I've always been like that. I've collected a few Lego sets since I was a kid, and it's kind of the same thing. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
More for me, I have to admit, is when my kids get really interested and they pull it out, then I'm like, hey, and I sit there and I start building random things.
But I'll say this. My friends, shout out to Malcolm, who's been on the show, and his wife, Alyssa. They would do something fun where they would just have a random box of Lego and they'll just have it around the house. And when like there's a party, people just grab Lego and start.
Oh, that's cool.
Just screw around with it.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, it really
like
is.
That.
It's really smart. Yeah,
that is a good
Come
idea.
Up with some cool stuff. If you're in the right frame of mind.
It's a great talking piece. I mean, everyone's just around fiddling with Lego and making their own stuff. And
that is actually not a bad idea.
Yeah,
I like that. That is cool.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't want to brag or anything, but I transformed this guy completely without ever looking at him once.
You looked at him. Nice try.
One time I did. Yes, right.
I saw it, and you're looking down again.
I did. Yeah.
I have caught you, so I
working for
me. That's a weird flex, dude.
That is a weird flex.
That's a weird flex, as the kids would say.
At the time, weird guy. And I flex weird.
Is that what kids say now? A weird flex?
Flexing.
I can transform.
Not to brag, but let me tell you, I could do a lot of good things with the transformer. That would be flexing. And everything. Yeah.
I don't grok.
Well, why'd you? You're 41-year-old male.
Hey, we don't have to call it my exact age.
You're right. You're in your 30s.
The better way to describe this.
You're a year-old male.
Yeah, no. The best way to describe this is my wife is about to turn 40, so I am pretty old.
That's great. That's great.
And I'll know my wife has listened to this podcast when she gets home angry. Actually, I might not notice it's happened more than once. But anyway,
so you do listen.
Exactly. This is the test.
Hey,
you did it!
Look at that! Almost.
I don't know what to do with.
They kind of stay on the back, and they plug in, and they just hang on the back of his.
They plug
arms.
in where?
So just so because you obviously know what we're talking about, people. AJ's finishing off Galvatron's transformation. Thank you. And he's trying to figure out what to do with his treadmill arms or whatever they are.
Tread gender.
His treads. Because he's a fight and a shooting tank.
Yes,
A fight and shooting tank.
Fight and shooting tank that transforms into a robot and just yells and screams.
Well, technically, he's a robot that transforms into the fight and shooting tank.
Good call.
Just saying.
No, you're right about that.
But,
just wanted to make sure you understood what you were doing here, Chris.
I'm kind of at a loss. You want to finish
I think
that
you're
off
done.
for me?
Yeah.
Well,
That looks
didn't
good.
Really plug the treadies into anything. I feel like maybe I have his arms on backwards or something.
His arms. Just pull them out and plug it back in.
Yep, you do.
Well, it's like a Rubik's Cube, right? You just pop them all out and put them all right back in the right color.
Not quite, but close.
I love this. This is great. Yes.
Hey, I did that without destructions.
No, that's true.
Now,
Yeah.
now ask me if I can get it back together into the tank form.
Nope. That's the hard part. Yeah. So Transformers, been obsessed for a long time. I've got some really complex ones. I have, as we did a toy episode a few years ago, I grabbed one of those masterpieces. That go for like
yes.
some hundreds of dollars. And yeah, I think I won't be doing that again.
Yeah.
Well,
that was the sound wave, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's the reason why it's like you pay a lot of money for craftsmanship, but the more money you spend on it, the less you actually want to interact with it because you don't want to.
You're afraid of
break
breaking.
I like my action figures, just action figures, not even transforming ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a Batman that I spent a lot of dollars on, and yeah, he kind of just sits there. He kind of just hangs out as the centerpiece, and I don't really. And he's got like interchangeable heads and faces and hands, and
nice.
Oh yeah, he's got all these like different accessories and stuff like that. And it's like
no touch,
no touch of the Batman.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, and that's what. So I guess I bought the masterpiece thinking, oh, it's like a pinnacle piece to my collection. But then after messing around, after playing and stuff, or whatever, it's like it doesn't go with anything else that I have.
Right.
And I never fuck with it now because I don't want to break it. It's like, I mean, it's one of those weird things.
One of those things, if I came over and I was like, oh, that's great. And I went even to reach out to it. David, stop.
Well, no, I would, but I would be like, no, let me show you to do this. No, wait, let me show you to do this.
Let me show you how to properly pick it up and carry it.
That's one of those things where like, oh, it's not for toys or not for kids. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not for kids. That's right.
Well, I have to admit, so one thing as a kid that I really wish I had kept and still have around are my G.I. Joes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of really cool ones.
Oh, well, it's one thing I always loved about G.I. Joes. Like, I can't really speak to it because I was young enough that I didn't really know. But generally, if I asked for a Joe, my mom would let me get it. So I presume they were relatively inexpensive.
Feel like they were.
Yeah.
But
they were so much fucking fun. And I had a ton of them and a ton of the weapons.
Man.
Like, and I would spend hours, and that's probably also the reason why my mom got them. I'd spend hours in my room setting up the fight scenes. Vehicles and shit were nice, that shot and did random things. That was nice.
Sure.
I didn't even care too much about that.
No.
It was more just about getting the Joes because you can have them climbing up on random shit in a room. And it was, I would have total scenes. It's one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
I really wish I had cameras, cell phones, or some sort of easy to get camera back in those days, because I would have taken pretty good pics.
Figure art is like such a thing now.
Oh yeah,
it's so fucking huge, and I wish it was a thing when we were kids because it's the same thing.
I don't know if I would have got to some of the things I've seen on the Reddit, because there are some where they have the close up and it looks like it's straight out of the movie scene, and then they have nope, here's what it actually is, and I'm like, fucking shit. Like, I wouldn't go that far,
no,
but I'd certainly have some moments where I'd get to look and go, yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, for sure. I was the same. Like I used to all my other toys as a kid would always go away, but my Joes would stay out. Same thing. I'd have them positioned, or I would make it so that way, I don't know, my lamp cord was in a way that I can make them climb it, or whatever it was. And I loved that so much, of having the scenes, and just you go to bed, you wake up like, oh yeah, there's my fucking Joes climbing out the bed. That's really cool, right? Stuff like that. That was awesome. But like what I found out was when I started looking into figure art, there's a lot of not really great artists out there. You know what I mean? Like, or it just comes off like almost like cheap as they do it. And it's like, well, yeah, I don't know if I would have been very good at that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. Like as a kid, I loved it, and I still remember one of the best gifts I got. And it's a funny thing, a babysitter that was looking after me. I walked, and I would have been maybe 5. I don't remember the exact age. I was still in Stratford.
Yeah.
We walked over to her boyfriend's house. And again, looking at it at my older age, I'm starting to think that maybe they were just trying to keep me busy while they, discussed their things.
Some cooking, some homework or something.
And he had an old G.I. Joe base, the whole thing.
The brown one?
It was one that had little panels you'd click in. It wasn't like I don't know the exact thing. Like it was one of those things I remember as a kid. But
okay, I think I remember. It was kind of.
It was a square, and you just click the things in. Yeah. But I loved it, and I fell in love with this damn thing. And they're trying to get me to leave. I'm like, no, but this is so great. And I can still remember this. A babysitter that I don't know how many times she actually babysat me. Her boyfriend at the time, who, and again, don't know the exact ages, gave me his whole fucking G.I. Joe set.
What? Holy shit.
I know. It's one of those things where I really wish I could bump into this guy who's probably, up in his 50, 55-ish, somewhere up around there. I don't know the exact ages, but he's probably way up there. I would love just to, hey, dude, fucking handshake, because I used that thing for so long.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Cool. That's really cool.
I love that thing. And again, it didn't have any shooting guns or anything. It was just a base that you could build, but it was just perfectly suited where I could get characters into positions and fighting. Sometimes they're raiding, defending. Like it was a whole
it's a war going on in your room.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think the only
I should Google that.
I think I only had like 2 base type things for action figures. I had Castle Grayskull.
Mm-hmm.
I had that too, for fuck's sake.
And the Boulder Hill playset from Mask.
Oh wow, you had that?
Yeah, I had the Mask base.
I remember seeing the commercial for that.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I only remember. Yeah, wow, that's the deep cut.
Yeah, I had a bunch of Mask toys.
Yeah,
really?
Mask was pretty cool.
I never had any Mask toys.
I think I had one, and my brother had one. I had the transforming bike to a helicopter, which.
I had that one.
Which doesn't make sense now, but whatever. And my brother had...
Well, how does it not make sense? You're on the bike and then you need to transform to a helicopter.
Yeah, sorry, it
makes perfect sense.
And my brother had... I can't remember one he had. I think the Cadillac.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that turquoise Cadillac. Yeah. With the flames on the sides.
And then it came up with the turret.
He did, because I remember us playing with it, I think.
Sakes. Too.
Goddamn memories.
Those are my only two.
As soon as you described, like, I kind of remember that in the apartment.
What does it even transform to? I don't remember what it fucking transformed.
I don't remember that part, but I just remember. I think it was in your mom's apartment.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
The Cadillac had like a little turret that popped up out of the back.
Right.
It didn't necessarily transform into. They didn't necessarily transform into other things all the time.
No, sometimes you just had hidden weapons. And things like that.
Yeah. I had the helicopter bike one. It was green. It was like a Kawasaki Ninja thing. And then I had like a dune buggy that turned into like an airplane
seen that one
thing.
too. Yeah,
and a Jeep that shot out a boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
That seems kind of pointless.
It opened up. It opened up, and the boat came out.
That seems like the most impractical thing ever.
No, it's not. The Jeep pulls up. Boom! Now you're in the river chasing them down.
If you're like going the river, you're in the bayou or something like that, and you pull up to the edge of the. And, oh no! I can't get those guys on the fan boats.
I'm just thinking of like some high stoner when the boat's on like the ocean. It's like rip it, and it just fucking drives into the ocean.
Oh, maybe that could happen.
It's like underwater vehicles. A thing that actually exists. It's one of those, I always see them. And don't be wrong, they look cool, the idea, the concept, or you can just drive.
Yeah.
But in reality,
It's a nice thought. My thing with mask toys, very cool. But I always wanted the figures to be as awesome as the G.I. Joes, and they just weren't.
Oh, yeah, they were just like, absolutely no articulation.
Yeah.
The feature of those guys was the little helmet that you put on them, right? Because they all had different little helmet things, little rubber helmets.
What a feature to sell us on.
But yeah, I think it was the vehicles that really, because I remember wanting like the semi truck one, and like the leader dude had the cool, like it was like a Camaro or something, and then had the gull wing doors, and then flew away.
Nice.
I'm having very, very much trouble.
Do you want to start it for you?
No, I kind of had it started, and then I couldn't figure out where it is.
So just so you know,
I had to break it apart.
AJ's trying to transform Studio Series 86 Hot Rod from the classic movie, The Transformers, the movie.
Which is
the movie, the game.
Yeah. I love that title, The Transformers, the movie.
The Transformers, the movie.
Man, I'm a member of a vinyl club on Facebook, and my buddy had the soundtrack to the Transformers movie.
On
vinyl for sale.
Nice.
But then when I went to look to see if I could get it, somebody had already.
Yeah, well, that would not last long.
No.
I mean, come on now. That's great.
I
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah.
So this goes like this, I know.
You figure that out.
AJ will talk again
So,
in a few.
G.I. Joe. Yeah, no, I have such fond memories, and we didn't get any collections donated to us, my brother and I, but very proud of the collection we amassed. And the fact that we were able to win some Joes through our playing, and we talked about this in a previous episode, where we lived in a low-income complex where all the backyards faced each other, and every kid in the neighborhood would use their base or their backyard as their base. So we'd all set up and we'd have like these giant wars like every weekend. But through diplomacy and through capturing POWs, we would play for keeps, and I would actually keep their G.I. Joes.
Really?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I have to admit, I never had
Pogs.
Very much like Pogs, exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, there's certain guys I wanted, and I have to figure out.
Oh, yeah, I have to admit, I
Get
never
'em,
did that
so-
with my characters. And I had a buddy up the street, Matt, I forget his last name, and he and we would actually both have our toys, and we would just, we'd set up battle scenes in my yard, his yard. We had a great time. His
Best.
little brother, too.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, well, no, we never actually did that. We always, split it. We would have moments where we'd borrow from one another, shit like that. But
Ultimately, that was what it was, because I would lose some of mine too.
Yeah,
which
okay,
sucks.
fair.
So, like, all right, let's just go back and whatever.
Yeah.
But
I had a bunch of G.I. Joes. I remember going to Florida and finding the was it Tiger Force?
Oh yeah.
Or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I had a couple of those vehicles.
Those are fun.
Nice.
They were a neat version, repaint, I guess, of basic figures.
Yeah,
It was because they had the Python Patrol
Yeah.
for the Cobra. So then G.I. Joe's, well, no, G.I. Joe's got to have a team, and then they did. Yeah, tigers attacking. Tigers and pythons fighting.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I had more. I think He-Man and superhero
Oh yes,
action figures. I had a lot of the superpowers, the Kenner
Mhm.
superpowers, and
a few of those.
Was it Toy Biz made the Marvel ones?
You mean with the very limited articulation?
Yeah,
I believe it was.
But Wolverine had you could slide his claws in and
Oh
out.
yes, that was Toy Biz. Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny, I never had
I had a bunch of
any
those
comic book figures.
None.
Not a single.
Not even a Batman or Superman.
No, not a single. No, I was never. I never was huge into them as a kid. Yeah,
Right.
Like He-Man, I had a few of those.
Yeah.
The Captain or the Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
I didn't have tons, but I did have a few. I do remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because my big one was, as I recalled, the Joes.
G.I. Joe's. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that
I
was my
had.
house.
So-
Did you guys have any of this? Did you guys know about this? I'm sure you knew about it. Captain Power.
Oh yeah, of course.
I had a bunch of those guys.
Yeah,
but
we
I
did
never
too.
had. I never had the thing you showed
Really?
on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that. Listen, the commercials made it way cooler than it was in real life.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun, but
I
not-
played with
Yeah.
it. I remember playing with it at friends' houses.
Yeah,
and it was
I
just
had a
kinda
friend up the
it was
street.
neat.
Yeah.
It was neat.
I had a friend
But-
up the street that had one.
Kudos to whoever made them. The fucking action figures were great.
I even watched.
I thought they were really well done back in the day.
I even used to rent the video.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes. Yeah.
Rent the
nice.
video.
So bad.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure.
So lame.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. it
As a
was
kid, though, I'm sure it was great.
it was amazing. Yeah.
What about what were they called? Skyhawks, Thunderhawks, Skyhawks.
I know of them, but I don't. They might have been past.
They were all
my
like
Yeah.
metallic.
time.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know if that would've been
Silverhawks.
Silverhawks.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had weird ones. I had like Silverhawks, Visionaries.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of those guys.
Yeah. Well, 80s was the toy explosion.
Yeah.
My big
That's
one
when
for the
things
80s
changed.
that I had, I remember a moment, I think it was called Starcom. They had the magnet feet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that.
those are
and when
great.
you put them on
Yeah.
like a certain base or something, it would like do
It would do
stuff or a
different
certain,
things.
certain vehicle.
Yeah,
Yeah, those were
yeah.
freaking cool.
My
That was
dad
a
had
lot
got
of
me a
fun.
few of those, and it's one that I still remember. And this is what I always love about parents, and especially divorced parents. I mentioned to my mother that I would love one for my birthday, and she gave me the response of, "That's too fucking expensive. Get something else."
Amazing.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember that because it was only my dad's time, and they were fun. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
move them around, the magnet feet on them, and if you had certain ones, the base one that he got me, as you moved the character, it would actually walk because of the
What?
magnets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, they were wild.
It was cool.
Sounds
I
good.
remember those.
I remember we didn't have a lot of superhero toys until later, but I remember my first one. It was one of those 5 points of articulation Spider-Man guys. I don't think he had his webbing. I think it was like a dark blue and almost like a brownish red, not
Oh,
actual
really?
red. Yeah, but like we loved it because Spider-Man was the thing back and
Yeah.
still is the thing that everyone loves. But my brother and I would fight over this toy so much. I think our dog at the time even chewed the hands off, and we still played with it because we loved it. And then we played with it so much, or we fought over it so much. My dad's like, "I'm just gonna throw it out, whatever." So he threw it out, and then, like I don't know, 3 days later, we see some kid in the neighborhood.
Play
with it. I'm like, you motherfucker. She went through our carpet to play with our favorite toy.
Oh.
Or your dad just gave it to the kid. You never know.
Yeah, possible. I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but you never know.
Yeah. And I remember also one of the superpowers one, I had the Superman one later on in life. And the Superman had like a magnet on his chest or something.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I just had the one where you squeeze his legs and his arms went up and down.
No, this one had because
school.
I know what I'm talking about.
Those.
But I remember having him in the dirt because that's what you did as a kid. And all the metal filings would stick to his chest that came from the dirt. So I'm assuming there was some sort of magnetic action.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't think I'm pretty sure I got it used because I don't know what that was for.
That reminds me of the He-Man, and you probably remember this one, AJ. The characters that when they got hit in the chest, they would hit the 1, the 2, the 3.
Oh yeah.
Battle damage.
Battle
damage Skeletor. Yeah.
I had a few of those.
I had those guys. I had the OG, like the regular.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of. I had the fuzzy dude from the Horde.
Yeah.
From the Hordak.
Oh, nice.
Grizzlor.
Grizzlor.
He was a fun feeling figure.
I had Skunk Man or Skunkor.
Skunkor, I think it is.
And he's last time I found him, he still stank like.
Nice.
That is cool, actually.
That's pretty awesome.
They made the character stink.
Yeah, they used stinky hippie patchouli fucking oil.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, it still smelled like hippie.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I can't think of what my first toy was.
Like ever?
Yeah. Like I do remember so in all honesty, I do remember a bear. I remember a bear that I loved, carried everywhere.
Yeah.
And part of it got burned because I accidentally left it in front of the heater. Because again, back in those days, we had just the electrical heating and all that stuff, the house we were in. And I can still remember how upset I was. But I try to think of, like the one I remember the most of is G.I. Joe, but I can't think of what my first one was. Oh, well, actually, you know what? I'd lie a bit. It was one of those car set things. And there is a special name for it where it was the multi-level and you would wind the ramp up and down.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that was one of my first.
I think I had the same thing.
Oh, the Fisher Price thingy.
Yeah, it was a Fisher Price thingy.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah, I think that's one of my first toys.
It was just like a garage.
Yeah, it was a garage with a little thing, and you could put the cars and
and then you put the elevator and it had like a
first toy
gas station involved.
Yeah, I think so.
Too. Yeah.
I think that was one of the first things I really remember.
Yeah, I had that.
The cars.
The first toy I remember, funnily enough, similar. I know the set you're talking about. I had a similar one, but it was space oriented. It had like a little space elevator.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember having that thing for so long, and then it obviously you don't play with it or whatever.
Well, yeah.
As you go, I had a Serpentor figure from G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way, he got like lodged underneath the elevator part and like broke. I was so sad that my Serpentor broke, but I still had that thing forever. But yeah. I feel like that was my first toy, aside from whatever security toy that I had, whatever.
And I'm sure there were other things and all those other wonderful things, but yeah, that's one of the ones I really do remember.
Yeah, that was
One of the first toys I remember having was essentially it was a recorder, like a flute recorder, but it was a Fisher Price one, so it had like different pieces that could connect to it to make it look like a saxophone.
Really?
Or like a funny saxophone.
Yeah.
Or like a trumpety kind of thing, or
that's fun.
Clarinet. Stuff like that. And yeah, it had like a slide that you could put on, so like had a slide whistle. It's basically a whistle that attached to a tube. No, it was just like a whistle about this big. And it attached to a tube that had holes in it, which essentially made it a recorder.
That is cool.
But then you could put different attachments on the end of it to make it look like
and do different things and
saxophone or yada yada yada. Yeah.
That is cool.
Nice slide whistle part to it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Might explain why you play music today.
I do remember
it's very possible.
The bar
I had a
thingies.
ukulele.
Oh.
Yeah, the bar thing. I remember that.
Xylophone.
Yeah.
We got my kid one of those when he was a baby.
Yeah. I remember that, but it was one of my first. I always remember it being also one of those things of I was only allowed to do it once all people were awake.
Did you do it? when they weren't awake.
So it was at a particular parent's house. So one time and then never again.
Yeah, that's always the way.
Yeah.
Wish I had some musical toys. I mean, I guess we had some Fisher Price musical stuff, but I don't remember.
Yeah, with that. The phone. I had one of the phones.
Yeah, one of the with the eyes.
Yeah. I had one of those.
That.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say those things are now coming to mind as like probably first toys.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. The Fisher Price.
All those things, yeah. Etch-A-Sketch was another one I remember back then.
I never had an Etch-A-Sketch.
Oh man, that thing was the best.
It's funny. I got one, never really got into it. I am not an artsy guy, nor was I even as a kid artsy in fashion. And I can always remember a babysitter. And it's, again, one of those moments where if I could take pics, like this guy fucking did everything. Yeah, like he would sit there and I'd be, I think, watching a show or something. Hey, Dave, look at this. And, he'd make like a snowman. He'd make a house. Like he had done stuff. Like things I could see. He didn't have to tell me what it was. Yeah. He also told me, or he also wrote up "fuck off" on it. Do you know what this says, Dave? No, I don't know what that says. He goes, it says "fuck off," but don't tell your mom.
Well, now she knows.
Don't tell I never did, actually. Yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah. I remember using Etch-A-Sketch. I used to have a lot of fun with it. I always wish I was better at it because you see some people.
Nothing.
And then I remember there was like a news report. I don't remember when this was, but I was definitely an adult. And they were saying about who can draw like a perfect circle or an apple on Etch-A-Sketch. And it turned out to be like surgeons. Well, of course. Surgeons have those fine-tuned motor skills that they could do that.
They make that part of the surgeon test back in the day, or maybe even nowadays.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. There's some digital now, but yeah.
You did it.
Hey, almost.
Fix it. I'm so confused.
Fix it.
I'm so confused because
all weirded out.
Yeah, because this hand's like it's like backwards.
All right, switch up.
But how did I don't know.
It's all good. There's a twisty mechanism.
I don't know what I did.
You didn't do right.
You need to twist with the music. Twist it good, but not too much.
There's just this little bit here. So if you don't know, the listeners out there.
You are getting a call there, Harvey.
I sure am. If you don't know, there's a weird twisting mechanism in Hot Rod. We have to do a little bit there.
He twists it.
Here, he twists it. Twist it. And then there you go.
That's where the
this is also
that's where the twisting I was having issues.
There's this wrong with it. There's that wrong with it.
Here, and then to give it a little bit more streamlined look.
Okay. I don't know. You didn't give me the instructions.
You're right. I just assumed you'd figure it out, and you did. Congratulations! There you go.
Congratulations! I did it for you.
Toys are great.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
I'm also, as we have here, a big fan of Marvel Legends. That line I've been collecting since I was pretty much whenever they came out. I used to buy their sets, and I've got a bunch from the Toy Biz lines.
Yeah. That's one thing I never did, even as a kid. I was never a collector. I was just a wanter. They're just things I wanted.
I should speak into the microphone. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I was ever a collector. It was more of just hey, that looks cool.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
No, definitely a collector. Yeah. So, but I think so. I've been collecting Marvel Legends for so long that I don't collect them anymore because
now it's an addiction.
Yeah, it's an addiction. I get my fix, man. Get my fix. No, just because. You get done collecting certain characters. There's some characters that you need to collect and you don't need to collect, and I feel like I've collected all the ones that I care for.
I can't reach the toys from way back there.
I'm sorry for people listening. Just there's strange things happening right now.
I had to move closer to the toys because I couldn't reach them. I was too far away.
It wasn't so much the what; it was more the how.
Indeed.
Yeah. Indeed. Here we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Chris. I got distracted.
But so I've just been collecting so long. I think the only thing I don't have in my Marvel Legends line is like your traditional looking Spider-Man. I just don't have one for whatever reason. So
it's Spider-Man.
I know, but there's a thing coming out that I've already pre-ordered for. Is it gonna give me that? So that's that.
I think I know what you. Yeah.
What did I get?
I think I saw the thing that you got it.
What?
Where did I see it? Wasn't it like a? Yeah, and he had like the webbing under the arms.
I think that's a different set.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting the pinless Spider-Man with Spinret, which is Mary Jane as in Spider Powers.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's a little too back. that I thought, well, that's and I think in terms of Marvel Legends, feel like I don't really. I'm at that point where it's just like I don't need to keep collecting all these guys. Also, it's getting very expensive to collect nowadays. Things are becoming much smaller and cheaper in grade, but yet more expensive because that's just the world we're in. And it's like, you got to kind of pick and choose what you want to get and what you don't want to get. So, I'm very satisfied with my collection as a whole. I love my toys. Yes, I said it. I love my toys. But it's I don't know if it's like an age thing, but it's definitely a winding down period for me. It feels like I don't really need to be collecting so many.
That's how I feel about my pop vinyl collection.
Yeah.
My Funko Pop collection.
Okay.
I haven't bought, I used to buy them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't bought one since probably the Samurai Batman one that came out.
How long ago was that?
A couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been toying with the idea of kind of maybe selling some of them.
Oh. Yeah.
So, because I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it for you.
We're human.
Yeah, exactly.
You get into the groove.
And I still don't think I've found my holy grail of Batmans yet either.
Do you know what your holy grail of Batman's is?
No.
So then how can you find it?
He's just waiting for the
I'm waiting for it to show up.
It'll just
I will have that.
My holy grail, and I've had it since the age of 12, so I'm good on that front.
His first pubic hair.
Yeah, that's right.
He still has it in a jar.
I do. No, it's on my body. I kept it there. It's the only one I have. But
I'm going to say that would be impressive. Fine.
No, my I have the Batmobile from Batman Returns to 1992.
Oh, actually pops apart. Nice.
Yeah, that was probably the greatest gift my mother ever gave me.
Nice.
For Christmas.
I had that from McDonald's.
Yeah, I had that one too. That was pretty fun. That's pretty fun. It's good. But it's not as cool as the full size one.
No, it's not.
No, so I love that thing, and I'm grateful to display it in my home for those that want to see it.
I always wish to have the '89 Batman one because I had the figure that had like the retractable belt.
Yeah,
that you could like
the
retractable belt that you could tie on.
Oh, moments where a video would have been great.
I know.
Yeah, I had that one, and it was pretty cool.
I like that one too. The only reason why I didn't want it was because of the open canopy on it.
Right.
I really wanted the clothes. I wanted to look like the Batmobile that I saw in the movie, and I felt like that depicted quite well.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that anymore.
No,
yeah, way to go! You just ruined it.
No, sorry, buddy.
I wouldn't say that would be any sort of holy grail or anything.
No, but you know,
I still haven't found. I guess the point was that I haven't found the thing that would be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't found like the Wayne's guitar of Batman.
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, so
good call out.
as my collection has grown, and I've pared down too, I've sold a bunch and whatever. You kind of have to keep going. I feel I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like I'm down to like my last 5 figures to buy to complete my collection. I know I said this
would
before.
be.
So they're releasing Menasor, which is the combiners of the Stunticons. And that's coming out, which is weird. They're not doing it as a set. They're doing it as in, like we're talking about as kids. So I'm hoping to collect those. And then the other big thing, like I only ever had Grimlock as a Dinobot as a kid. I never had the other ones. In fact, I don't think I ever saw Swoop, their pterodactyl, ever. I've never seen it.
I have no recollection.
So they're releasing those now. That's what you're seeing there. AJ's transforming Grimlock as we speak. Studio Series 86. And appreciate it. Well, they might think it's G1 or it might be fucking animated or something. Whatever, I don't know. People are weird. So I'm going to collect those. And then I think that's
and then what are you going to do?
Just
probably masturbate or something. I don't know. All of my toys. Okay, no, that's ridiculous.
Wow.
That's insane.
And there you go. Another one.
And another podcast ruined.
That's the deep shit right there.
Yeah.
That's some sex toy shit right there. Okay,
like,
moving on.
That's like screwing an octopus.
No, I'll do what I do with ones I have. I'll display them.
Nice.
No,
I'm not.
I'll collect them.
Yeah.
Like,
I have 0 toys from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Not a single.
I've got a couple. Obviously, the Batmobile. I caught a couple, but I really did sell the majority of the ones from when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I sold off.
I gave away.
You know what's funny? I've sold off so many. AJ can attest to this. I've sold off so many that I didn't even realize I sold them off. So I was saying to him, "Fuck!" I had a one of the original movie versions of Spider-Man from the 2001 and Green Goblin, with great figures. I sold them off. I didn't even realize I did that. I had to go through a bunch of posts from where I was posting them for sale.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, oh my God, that's what I did to them. And I'm now pissed because they were great figures and I don't have them. But whatever. Yeah. I'll cry about that another day.
Yeah.
I'll cry about that my other figures. So
yeah, I have nothing like that. Though I can't say much because I do still, and I brought it up once before, but hey, just call out to say I also somewhat understand. I have my Space Quest 2 that I received as a gift back in 1987. I still have it.
For I think I still have a bag of He-Man.
Nice.
They're not in any great condition or anything like that.
Yeah, but they're just the ones you had as a kid type fun.
Yeah, bag of He-Man. They're great.
Bag
He-Man's
of
big.
He-Man.
Yeah. I had we might have mentioned this, but yeah, Josh and I, my brother and I, we did have some He-Man, which is great. I think we had Grayskull. We had a friend who had Snake Mountain. I was like, I want Snake Mountain. It's way cooler. But
Grayskull was fun.
It was fun, but Snake Mountain was where I was at.
Yeah, it had a microphone.
Exactly, the microphone. But there was a young lady in our vicinity of somehow. She had like the entire She-Ra collection.
Nice.
And that was kind of mind blowing. It was like, holy shit! They were like,
completely forgot.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, no, please, yeah. But I really felt like they were superior to He-Man in a lot of ways. It was awesome.
That's okay. We talk about all these lovely toys and set them up. So I will freely admit, in my older age, I would sometimes go over to my aunt's place, and my cousin Melissa, and she had an amazing Barbie collection.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And so what would I do while I was over at her place? I would
sex toys,
play with her. No, actually, in full honesty, no sex toys. It was just her and I would set up whole Barbie things with the clothes, and I would go. I'd get the male characters, of course. She had all the females, and we'd set up the cars. We set up everything. Have little stories that are going on.
You brought G.I. Joes to Barbie. That's crazy.
No, and again, that's just it. I don't think I ever brought G.I. Joes. I would use the Barbies.
I mean, the mentality you use for your Joes.
We would mix because again, I would bring in a little bit of the fighting. She'd bring in a little bit of the no, we're trying to get along, and it was I'd almost forgotten about that.
I love it.
Fuck yeah, I love it. We would do that the entire time, full Barbie. I can still remember. I shouldn't say remember. I once got the impression from my father he was a little disgruntled because I was playing with the Barbies so much. Because again, even though I said I sometimes got the male characters, sometimes I was allowed to be a girl, and I would dress the girl appropriately based on what we wanted her to be.
I love how I love the rules and the confines of the game.
Matter of factually.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Well, as I said to my wife, when I got to see her clothes off, I was really surprised. Wait a minute, I just thought there was nothing there.
I thought it was just smooth.
Yeah.
It's just smooth and supple. No. Like a dolphin's body.
But no, I did have a lot of fun. And it was nothing, even though we joke about it, nothing sexual. It was just, they were just another version of action figures.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. It was weird that people got hung up on that growing up to this being a doll and action figure. At the end of the day, whatever.
And again, even though I have a memory of it, I'm sure it's wrong. And to be honest, no, I never got knocked too much. Like, we're just down there having fun. Yeah. And again, sometimes it would be a love story, and sometimes we'd be having like a battle about something.
Yeah, for sure. It's the same thing when playing with She-Ra dolls. I didn't feel like I was, I'm weird or whatever. Whatever, they're toys.
Yeah, we just had
fun. Exactly. Yeah. Set up, let's play. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, I back to the base thing. I don't know if I really ever owned any bases growing up, except for I guess Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, I had the Grayskull, and I had the one that was gifted.
Thing so bad.
I have my Grayskull. My memory of it was right to the bitter end. Where, and again, and you kind of already called this out. I can remember my dad calling me one day when I was a teenager, saying, even the my half brothers, sisters, well, brothers mostly, but they were even done with it all. And he's like, "Do you want it?"
Yeah. Wow.
Well, and I'm an older teenager. Come on,
sure.
No, Dad, I'm fine. I don't need it. Yeah, I kind of wish I had said yes.
Yeah. See
how much that thing's worth now.
I know.
Yeah. Well, it's less even about the worth for the monetary value. More just that. Hey, I have to admit there are, and again, even though I called it, said, hey, I don't have toys now, which I don't. Even when I'm in like the Wally Mart or the store, especially now that there seems to be kind of a push for actually being able to buy old school Transformers, shit like that. The vintagey version.
Yep.
Like I saw the one and I was like, that is tempting.
Yeah, I know, eh?
And it had it not been like $60.
I know.
That's the stupid part.
Case in point, AJ and I did an experiment. We went to a few years back when we first started doing this podcast. to, I think it was Toys R Us, Walmart,
whatever.
And I bought the new version of Optimus Prime at the time, and he bought the old version, what we have displayed in our studio here. And I think you paid more for the G1 version.
Yes, I do believe you.
I think so, by like $5 or $10 or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, that is crazy that people are paying more. That's a reissue. It's not even like, it's not actual and G1.
It doesn't even have the trailer.
No, it doesn't have the trailer.
It's just a guy.
I'm like, that's kind of crazy.
At least he's made out of metal.
That's true. He's got metal die.
Because I'm afraid I'm going to break this thing.
Oh, here you go.
He can't get his arms out.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Snap.
Right?
Hey, on the podcast.
Hey,
you did it
not
yourself,
mine,
though.
Yeah,
not
mine.
Don't worry, I got this one for free.
Still, free doesn't always mean that the value is lower.
That is true.
Is that one of the ones that came through your harrowing Hasbro adventures?
I know. Yes. One of the free ones.
I remember you telling that. Yeah, you told.
Well, I guess I'll tell the story now because people are like, what the fuck? So
what they should know now.
Exactly. Actually, anyways, whatever. So, on one of the figures I was collecting, he came with a missing piece, and it was a Soundwave figure. And I just called, instead of taking the figure back to where I purchased it, I just called Hasbro to see if they could just replace the part, because I know that this character, the thing is collecting today, you can't guarantee you're going to get the figure replaced or the next time, because I don't know why, but it's a popular thing and everybody's fucking wants to buy them. So they said, well, let's check it out. We can't find that piece for you. Like, oh, okay. But we'll just we'll send you out a brand new one. But because we can't get the same figure, we'll just send you one of equal value. I'm like, sure,
all right,
new figure. So they did that, great. But that figure, for whatever reason, had a broken arm. Okay, so like, I appreciate the gesture. However, here's the situation. They're like, oh, our bad. So then they sent me another one, which was great, except for I realized it's at a lower price point than the original one that I purchased by like, I don't know, $10. I'm like, I'm happy with replacements. Just curious if this is like a normal practice or whatever. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, no, our bad. So yeah, we'll send you another replacement. Okay. Then they sent me a 2-pack. I'm like, okay.
Can't really bitch anymore.
Can't really complain.
That's why you got the 2-pack.
That's exactly
There's some
right.
operator
like,
going, you know what? Send that fucker to. He has nothing to complain about now.
Exactly. So, because of their faux pop. So for collectors out there, Hasbro is a great company to deal with if you got issues with your figs.
Nice.
So
I have issues with this one.
It doesn't transform.
Where do I put his hands?
They're just folded in, so you gotta wedge them out.
What?
Let me see.
What?
All right.
Yeah.
So AJ's he's Transforming Generation Select Sandstorm, which is based off of.
I love that you not only the character name but the exact model version.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Way outside of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, indeed. But look at this guy. This is the Captain America from the Avengers movie, and the reason why he came with this hammer, because at the time no one knew that he was going to be worthy enough to wield it, and it was hidden in his packaging. So he'd have a shield. Yeah, that's not a shield, but he had a shield covering it, so you didn't know that he had it. So if you purchased him, you're like, oh wow, he's got this here, and it's, I don't know, it looks kind of like Chris Evans, and he's a great figure. Check him out.
Yeah, it's not amusing. I've never been into the figures.
You're weird.
Yeah, as I said, G.I. Joes which is somewhere like, because I call it the G.I. Joe, but the G.I. Joes, they can move every possible way. Like, they could do anything.
And you could take the screw out of the back and switch around
out
their parts.
That's true. You could do that a lot of.
Or fix it with the elastics broke and all that shit.
For sure. So speaking of that, I felt really old the other day when I was watching a review. So Hasbro's going to release a Transformers G.I. Joe collaboration. Collaboration, and they're releasing the first collab is a his tank, which is a Cobra tank that transforms into Megatron.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. But it also comes with a Baroness figure, which is one of the old school like G.I. Joe that we used to have with they call them the O-rings, elastic rings. Whatever, right? And so I watched a review of this figure, and it was cool, whatever. But where I felt old was the reviewer. The reviewer was like saying to the audience, he didn't understand why they had elastics in their stomach. Like he'd never seen that before. He goes, wow. He goes, that's a really clever idea on how to make your Transformers or how to make your G.I. Joes move. I'm like,
that's how
how it was. That's how they did it. Like,
that was it.
It's how they feel really old. Why are you making the Transformers have a sex party? I just want to let you know, AJ, that says a lot more about you than it does them.
He's too excited.
He ejaculated.
Yeah, he did.
He ejaculated.
For those
because he's a tape player.
So if you're wondering what AJ does with his toys, they're all set up in sexual positions at home.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. Only the robots.
Right.
Get your fucking facts straight, guy.
I know. I saw Batman fucking Batman. What are you talking about?
No, Batman fucks Robin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so figures. Toys. And all the fun things.
Toys.
What other toys do we like to collect? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, I don't know. Like I do nothing now, but back in the day, I think I covered off mine.
I like high-priced musical toys.
Oh, sir. Instruments, sir.
Toys. Same thing.
Sure. I guess eventually
to me they're toys because I play with them.
Your toy ukulele becomes.
Yeah, that is actually a valid argument back. Because that is the nice thing.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I've got this sample pad dealy thing over here that's
your toy.
It's a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's useful. You could do stuff with it and make music and all that jazz, but
you're really good at it.
It's a toy.
Yeah. If I had read something like that, I would make ding dong ding dong. That'd be about the extent of my ability.
Yeah. All right. Well then, shall we wrap this up then?
Yeah, I think I'm in good shape. I think I talked about all my good toys. Next episode will be the sexual
toys are
ones.
fun. Let me ask you a question, sir.
Sure.
If you were to move into a larger space, would you acquire more toys?
I don't build my collection that way.
No.
I build my collection is in my head. So I have characters that I need to collect inside my head. That's how I do it. It has nothing to do with space. In fact, it's smaller space the better because it shows how many more I have.
Explain. Explain yourself.
I don't. Sure. Yeah, it's all in the inner workings of my head.
It's not about quantity. It's about getting the right ones for what you want to have at that, not necessarily moment, but in your upcoming.
Right. Well, okay. Yeah. A small example. I'm a big X-Men fan. There are specific characters of the X-Men that I need to have to satisfy that collection, and I have all of them. Oh, one I'm missing, but I probably won't ever get her. That's okay. Who's that?
Never say never.
Well, they released her a couple of years ago and I missed my chance. So yes, I could get her again, but it's going to cost me a lot of money. It's the Rogue figure. Yeah. So I could definitely get it, but I probably won't.
I want one of them new Wolverines that came out that's based off the 90s cartoon.
Yeah,
comes
that's
in
great.
With a little VHS box and shit.
Case in point,
Nice.
I almost bought into that line, hook, line, and sinker. They look amazing. They all come in the like VHS of the old show and stuff, but I got like the majority of those characters when they first came out 20 plus years ago. So I was like, do I really need to go get them again? A Cyclops from the 90s version would be nice, but meh,
I guess for me, it's like, I mean, you've seen how many Batmans I have.
Yeah.
But they're all different.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's what it is. Like, it doesn't matter.
You need
for
that
me,
different style.
Yeah. For me, it's not about the character. It's about the style. Like if I was into Spider-Man, I'd have that Spider-Man, and that Spider-Man, and that Spider-Man.
That's why because I used to do that. I used to have multiples of various characters, and I thought this is kind of stupid because I don't. You know what I mean, like if your purpose for collecting is to display, for me, doesn't make sense to have multiple Spider-Man and mixed in with other random characters. You know, that just doesn't make sense for what I want to present.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I think so. Kind of like my Batman thing is like that one shelf is all Batman. There's there's other characters in there, but it pertains to Batman directly.
Right.
Whereas Wolverine and Spider-Man are associated, but they're not directly
related. Yeah, something like
story-wise, comic book-wise. Like, you'll have them cross over and stuff like that. But like, essentially, Batman and Wolverine don't really...
Right. Like, there's people that just collect Optimus Prime Transformers. That's all they do. They just collect Optimus Prime.
Right.
I don't know why, but that's what they like. For me, I wouldn't want multiple Optimus Primes around because I'm like, well, one kind of does the trick. You know what I mean?
Well, everybody.
But I get,
you're collecting for a certain style and not story, but representation.
Exactly.
Some people collect because they just for some reason what they want. My uncle, his downstairs has a wall. Mm-hmm. This wall is full of Coca-Cola things.
Yeah.
Old bottles, symbols, clocks, everything, like anything that is Coca-Cola, he has a version of it.
Right. Yeah. So there's that. So I just want to collect with whatever.
So you like to try and find what is aesthetically pleasing to you of that character, and when you find that, that's kind of the cap.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like, this is the coolest Wolverine I've ever seen
in life. And then I might go
and
sell all the other ones that I have.
Okay, so
I might go do that.
Yeah, if you're like, this is the coolest Grimlock I've ever seen in life, and then another Grimlock came out, you'd be like, whatever.
Listen, if I had a G1 Grimlock and that G1 Grimlock would be sold by now.
Really?
Guaranteed.
Really?
Guaranteed. Because you know what money is worth?
I would keep the G1.
Yeah.
What's funny is when you described it that way, it sounded very much like building up your character. I got this. Oh, now I can group them together and get this.
Form one more. Yeah. No, I was thinking about that watching the show, like, because recently in the later episodes they start showing the combiners of the Autobots. So they got Protector, whatever his name is,
Protector,
and
what does he do? He protects
Superion, which is the aerial bots, and then Protector, which is Defensor, which is the protective bots or the emergency bots, whatever they're fucking called. And like I was watching it, and I'm like, I have no desire for those characters in any way, shape, or form. I don't care. So it's not like I'm gonna go out and try.
So
to make those a part of my collection.
Just because it's Transformers.
Yeah, no, that's not that way.
That makes sense to me because there's certain characters in the Batman universe that I don't give a fuck about.
I'm assuming there are certain shows you could give two shits about collecting for, like Batman. I'm trying to think.
Oh yeah,
Batman
okay.
animated.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, there was the one Batman. Well, the Batman.
Yeah.
It was a cartoon.
Okay, cartoon.
Or Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, exactly.
But aesthetically. It's not, as Dave would say, a meism.
Exactly. So, and that's the same,
right? I like what McFarlane Toys is doing with the Batmans because they're doing, out of certain games or certain movie ones or certain comic book looks.
It's very smart that they're doing that way.
That's what I'm liking about it because you're most of the time anyway. I can't say that I don't have two that aren't damn near identical, but it was one of those variant sort of things. So I have two. Well, I have more than two. I have quite a few animated series. I think I have 3 animated series style Batmans.
Okay.
One's the blue cape with the yellow symbol. One is with just the bat.
Right.
The gray suit with just the bat and the black cape. And then, so those are both McFarlane. And then I have one that was an old DC, not DC Direct, but DC action
Selector
figures.
or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Whatever that when they were doing action figures. So but most of what I have are different
variations
of Batman.
Yeah, and I have some different variations. But here's case in point to how I collect. Before they released the Hasbro Pulse $800 Unicron, they released like 2 years ago, which I was never gonna get.
It's pretty dope, but
it is
for the money. It's
even the money, like fuck that. Even if I could afford it, which when you collect, you could justify anything you want to afford. But it's the space, like it just takes so much space. So for
that would be a lot of space.
The one loophole to your previous question, if I had the space to fit that guy, maybe, but I don't. I mean, yeah. When they released the previous version of Unicron, they did like an Transformers animated version. Could not give a fuck.
It was not the greatest.
But as soon as they did the colorings of the 1986 movie, bought it in a heartbeat. I was like, oh yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. He's not as big as any of the other big guys that I have or whatever, but
I feel like if I was down with the Transformers, I probably would have done the same thing because I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because when they came out with the super duper one there, I started looking into like, hey, have they ever made a Unicron figure?
Yeah,
ever? And I saw it was like a
half sphere.
It looks like a egg,
a little bit
kind of thing, but it's like purple and I think it's actually kind of like the Unicron or not the Galvatron colors
a little bit.
But yeah, had I seen the one that was the 80s movie, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's way.
I mean,
cooler.
it's not super awesome, but
it's almost
looks
awesome.
better.
And the thing is, this like I'm proud. I only paid like $60 for that thing, which was on sale at the time.
Only, Dave.
Dude,
That's not too bad.
that's the one I just mentioned is $800. I think I got a fucking steal. Really?
I would never
Just
pay
breaking your
$100.
balls, guy.
I know.
Unless I won the
I was
lottery.
like-
If I won the lottery, maybe.
Maybe. I don't think you would. You're too
I
cheap.
wouldn't.
You wouldn't do
Even
that.
with the $1 million, nah.
Even if I asked you, like, as a gift, would you buy this for me? Be like, well, you got to pay me back.
Well, no.
Installments.
If I had won the lottery and it was like one of your like big birthdays, like your
Sure.
50th or something, then maybe yes.
Then maybe all right. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. A little alcohol in there too. Anyways,
Whoa! Don't
What?
ask for too much.
cheap alcohol, of course.
Oh, okay.
Cheap.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I think AJ's busy playing with Spike right there.
You gotta fight
For the right.
No, you guys, no. Well, we're not gonna get fired for that. Don't worry.
right?
That's not how it is. And you out there, are you a fan of collecting toys and specifics? What do you like? Are you into Transformers? You into G.I. Joe? Are you into whatever you're into? Let us know. Wherever you're listening to us, whether it's on a bus, whether it's in the car, whether it's with friends, interact with us through our YouTube page, through any of our other pages. Just interact. We just want to hear from you. So please let us know your thoughts on our podcast and collecting and the like. All that good stuff. If you like what we're doing here and you want to support us, we got ourselves a little buy me a coffee link. You could throw some money towards us if you like to do that. If not, a like's good too. Let us know what you think of what we're doing here. For anybody out there that's not feeling well in the mental department, which I assume is the whole world, we want you to know that you matter not just to us, but to those that are around you. And that stuff that's going inside your head, it's very important to talk about it. So if you can't do that with those that are around you, we're going to have some links up in our description so you can go and find and seek the help that you need to deal with whatever's going on inside your mind. But until next time, I've been Harvey.
Dave Jurgold.
Bye-bye. I've been AJ.
I've been AJ. Nice.
Right on, AJ. Right on. And just like that, friends, you got yourself sarcastically distracted. Thanks so much for joining us. Have yourselves a wonderful evening.
Take care, all.
Oh, I know.
Bye-bye.